What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. It's Friday, last day of the week. Have the whole weekend to look forward to, and actually have some fun stuff to play as well, since a new demo just came out randomly. We kind of knew about it a little bit from what we saw in a screenshot for an ad, but a new demo is on the eShop that I think a lot of people will care about because it's technically the big release for March on Nintendo's system. Had a data breach at a certain company, so you're going to have to check your credit cards if you purchased from them, which we'll get into. And we heard from Nintendo about Switch peripherals over a Switch revision. So today, guys, let's get started. First up, let's talk about Detroit Become Human, because it did get a release date. This, of course, is the next game from Quantic Dreams that follows 3 androids through like a dystopian future. Remember, we saw a full gameplay session where you played as an android that was going to get a rogue android, essentially, and you kind of went through the apartment, you found a bunch of clues to help you try to basically talk them off the ledge. I remember they didn't quite get there, so they ended up just shooting him and taking him out so that they wouldn't do anything to the hostage, but it was pretty neat. If you like, I guess, these type of games from Quantic Dreams, you'll probably enjoy it because the visuals were great, and yes, it is kind of like an interactive movie to a degree, but a lot of people like those types of games, and again, visually it was stunning. So if it had that kind of that sense of what you were doing beforehand to actually really affect the scenario, but it is coming out May 25th, so not too far off, a couple months, and it'll be here. But we did hear it was me spring. Now we know May 25th, 2018, you'll be able to pick that up on the PS4 later on. Next up, let's talk about Nintendo's plans for the Nintendo Switch. Now, we've heard a lot of things about the Switch in terms of possibly a revision at some point from a lot of different people, analysts and everything. Will they make it smaller and attach the Joy-Cons? Will they make it bigger and make a Switch XL? It's not out of the question, considering a lot of their previous handhelds, like the 3DS XL, I guess, and then the Game Boy Advance, and they've all had revisions in their second or third years, so it's not out of the question to think that the Switch could see a revision sometime in its second year, really the year we're getting into now. But according to Nintendo, they are not really interested in doing a revision of the Switch. Instead, they want to focus at this point on getting the manufacturing and the shipping down. And this comes by way of a report from the Wall Street Journal. In fact, Nintendo, what they want to do is make peripherals that plug in to the USB port on the bottom of the Switch. They say specifically USB-C port, so that's kind of interesting to hear that it would do something in handheld mode, I guess. In this case, to extend the life of the system so they can get to that 6-7 year cycle that they want. They want to extend it to that point. They don't want a 5-year cycle with this system. They want to go a little further, and that'd be cool to see. But what do you guys think they could make for the Switch to get it there? I know what everyone's thinking right off the top of their head. Oh, something for that USB-C port on the bottom? Well, clearly a GPU dock of some kind. Now listen, it's not out of the question to have this, because I'm sure Nvidia and Nintendo can figure something out. But I'm trying to think of the overall idea of that. Would it be to help get it to a stable frame rate at just 1080p? Because I don't think they would shoot for 4K with the Switch. That would be very jarring to go from 4K to at times lower than 720p a lot of times on the Switch's handheld unit. So what would they be doing with this USB-C port? And that's kind of where it's hard to tell. Nintendo is so unpredictable. I mean, they had some weird peripherals back in the day. I remember people have talked about the sewing machine for the Game Boy Color, right? An exercise bike for the Super Nintendo. There's a lot of stuff. We even saw that vitality sensor that we haven't seen, if you remember, for the Wii back in the day. So it's hard to say what they could do. I mean, it's possible, really anything. I mean, we saw a Labo pop up. Who thought that was going to happen? So it seems like, I've said it before, when you go in the back where they have their engineers and their R&D department for Nintendo, it's like Willy Wonka's factory back there, I think, where they're just coming up with, and if this is what they're showing us with Labo and their vitality sensor, what doesn't get out of the back of that room? That would make for an interesting story from some ex-engineers there who are like, you wouldn't believe half the stuff they came up with for the Super Nintendo and then, the Wii and everything else. That would be fun to take a look at, but it's hard to say, and really, it's anyone's guess at this point. So let me know what you guys think they could do with that USB-C port on the bottom of the Switch that would help to extend the life or even change how we play with the system, because the Labo, while it is geared towards younger kids, man, some of the technology that is in there is pretty impressive when you use the Joy-Con to do things that none of us expected it to be able to do. So Who knows what's going to plug into that USB-C port, but it sounds like, based on a lot of talks, we may find out about it sometime later this year, considering that's when we would normally see revision. Sounds like instead we might see some kind of wacky, zany, or some kind of peripheral that'll really take us off the rails and give us a new way to play. Next up, let's talk about Kirby Star Allies, because well, a demo popped up. Now, if you remember, I remember seeing articles from Go Nintendo and other places that said they spotted an ad on Google that said there was some kind of demo coming, although it did say, I thought it said March 4th. Well, we got it yesterday. March 1st marked the day that Kirby Star Allies did get a demo. It's 2 full levels from start to finish with a boss on each one, and one is marked as easy, the other one's marked as hard, and you could play completely through them. You collect puzzle pieces to put into different puzzles, try to make an entire picture that unlocks something. I've played through the levels twice each, and I haven't received enough puzzle pieces to get either one. However, it's pretty fun. Now, people are saying I wish it was 60 frames per second. Yeah, it would look better. It would be more fluid, but honestly, it's completely playable. And I have to say, the computers actually aren't annoying in that game. So if it's just you playing, you can play completely through it with just one person, although it's definitely meant to have co-op. So you can have up to 4 people take really control of any of the different people that are running around. Obviously, everyone's control Kirby, but it's pretty fun when you kind of throw a heart at one of the enemies and they turn into your ally, and then you're running around. It looks like it's going to be a blast with 4 people. I still need to try it with someone more than myself, I guess, but has no online multiplayer from what I can see, and I think that's a bit of a miss for this, although couch co-op, it'll work great. But I would love to see some online component to this. I don't think that's going to happen, though. But overall, the game looks great, it plays well, and honestly, at this point, I'm getting excited for Kirby Star Allies. I used to play Kirby all the time back on the Super Nintendo, even the Nintendo 64 to a degree, and then they had Return to Dreamland on the Wii, which was awesome. So yes, I am ready for this. I'm ready for this version of Kirby to come out. Next up, let's talk about the world of Battlefield, because we know a Battlefield game is coming. It should be playable at E3. EA outlined that they were working on Battlefield for 2018 on a conference call a month or so ago. We heard about this. So yes, Battlefield is showing up. However, we don't really know what it's going to be. Now, a new rumor that's popped up from GamesBeat that seems to cite anonymous sources that are very close to the situation is saying something that makes a lot of sense based on the success of Call of Duty WW2, would make Battlefield, this new one, take place in World War II, kind of to follow up what Call of Duty has done with its success and to follow up the World War I iteration of Battlefield 1. Now, internally, they were calling it Battlefield 2. However, a screenshot that appears to have allegedly leaked out shows Battlefield V, or in this case, I believe that's supposed to be Battlefield 5. So, is this going to be it, or would it be more so along the rumor we heard in December that is completely contradicting this one, saying it's Bad Company 3 that's based in Vietnam? I more so believe this one to follow up directly Battlefield 1 that was heavily successful, whether you like EA or not. Big time success there on that one, right? People really liked it, and honestly, for the shooting mechanics and everything else, it was pretty good. So it makes sense that they would go to like World War II, maybe go a little into the future there, but not too far, right? Because you still have that boots on the ground action, stuff that people are really into. I think people are very, very tired of the futuristic combat that we had with Call of Duty and everything from before. People loved World War II Call of Duty, whether you did or not. It was a good game. The single player was pretty good, I think. So it's going to be fun to see. It's going to be interesting because they will, I think, unveil it ahead of time, as we heard from different people on Twitter who are actually working on the trailer, like actually internal to EA in this case, are actually working on the trailer, and we probably will see it ahead of E3, and then it'll be playable, and then we'll see a bigger demo at E3 to see what this is all about. But I'm more on the side of WW2. I think it makes sense based on the chronological order they're currently going in. And in our last bit of news, we have to talk about a big data breach that is probably affecting a lot of people right now, because this is a serious data breach. This isn't like, oh, they got some people's names. This could potentially mean that if you shopped on Nice America since January 23rd, so pretty much all of February is affected. If you bought anything on their online store online, you may have given your credit card information to a malicious source. You need to go check your credit card statements, and you need to change your password immediately for the website, like right away. And everything needs to be changed pretty much. You need to go take a look, call your bank right now, call your credit card company right now. Because according to Nice America, a statement that was released on their social media account, and then they sent emails out. Thank you to Icy for bringing this to my attention, sending me the email so I could take a look at it. You may have been affected, but this is what they said on their Twitter. Hello everyone, you may have received an email regarding a data breach of the NISA online store. This is a valid and legitimate email. Please stand by as we work on resolving the issue. Thank you for your patience and understanding. To follow that up from the paragraph that was in the email that they sent saying, we are contacting you to notify you of a data breach which occurred between January 23rd, 2018 and February 26, 2018 on online stores owned and operated by Nice America Inc., including store.niceamerica.com and snkonlinestore.com. This data breach allowed an unauthorized party to access customer payment and address information for new credit card orders placed between these dates. Our customers are our top priority, and it is our responsibility to provide a safe and secure environment for you to shop online with confidence. We would like to inform our customers of what happened as a result of this breach, the steps we have taken to resolve it, and what you can do to protect yourself. Now, they go on to detail exactly what happened here later on in that email, saying, on the morning of February 26, we became aware of a malicious process that had attached itself to our checkout page. This process was being used as far back as January 23rd, 2018 to skim personal information provided by our customers during checkout after they placed an order at our store. After entering their billing, shipping, and payment information, the customer would be temporarily redirected to an off-site webpage not owned or operated by Nice America Inc. This malicious process would record the information provided by the customer during the checkout process, including credit card information, billing address, shipping address, and email address. Afterward, the malicious process would return the customer to the Nice store page to complete their transaction. Essentially, what's happened here is when you went to check out, you were sent to this page that looked probably pretty legitimate, right? It looked pretty straight up. You entered your information. They essentially pulled that, sent you back to Nice America's site, and then your information was then entered into Nice America's site instantly. So you never noticed, and then you were able to complete your checkout page there. You were essentially typing your information, including your credit card information, your billing address, your name, everything into their page. So they would actually be recording all of this as it took place. And according to them, this went on for a month more, so more than a month. So if you had ordered anything, anything at all in February, I would just count anything even in January. Just double check. You need to check everything. Maybe get a new card. Like, this is all stuff that you need to take care of right away, because it sounds like somebody was fishing for that information, either to sell your information or use your cards, or who knows. Their identity theft is a very scary thing that can happen, and this is one way for it to really complete some of the pieces of the puzzle on their side. So take this seriously. I would hope that Nice America would do something like provide I don't know, like free security or something that you can usually go to I remember Home Depot had this issue, I think, at one point, and they provided basically free protection against having your identity stolen for a time period. And I don't know if Nice America is going to do something like that. As far as I can tell, they're providing $5 off of your next purchase, which that doesn't seem like the best use of that. I think it'd be better if they actually pushed for, I would say, at least some kind of credit check or something they could do to provide to everyone to get this all resolved and protected. So that's a big deal. Make sure you check everything, and hopefully this brought it to light to you if you had not already heard about this, and hopefully it didn't affect you, but we'll see. This is why you got to be very careful online, because this kind of stuff can happen a lot. We saw it happen to bigger ones even, and Nice America is just the next victim at this point for vulnerability on their website. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for Newswave today. If you enjoyed this video, guys, hit the like button. Really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave a bunch of comments down below about everything we talked about today, whether it is Nintendo's idea to use peripherals rather than try to build another Switch revision like a Switch XL or a Switch Mini in the second year. Maybe the third year is better to kind of hold off for, or maybe they feel like they could come up with a GPU dock to kind of solve some of the home issues with it being blown up on a 60-inch screen and dropping to 720p or less than that sometimes on the big screen. It happens. So maybe they're like, well, we can give a dock that you can buy separately, put the Switch in, because in handheld mode, for the most part, the smaller screen kind of hides those deficiencies. It's not as big of a deal there. Also, let me know what you think about the Kirby demo. I've actually had a lot of fun with it, and I think it's going to be great to get midway through March. Give me something else to play while we go along this year, and definitely with friends. It's a good time there. I guess let me know if you were also affected by that Nice America issue. Hopefully it's not really as widespread as it sounds like, and everyone's able to get everything sorted out before it gets really bad with some of these, I guess, some of these phishing programs. Internet's a scary place, so hopefully it didn't affect anyone too bad. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on Monday for more Newswave, 8 a.m. Eastern Time.